When Microsoft purchased Minecraft in 2014, they initially went into a good direction with things like another update, but have been making more and more screw-ups that weren't a whole video to be made about them. In mid-2022, with the release of 1.19.1, Mojang introduced a new chat reporting system that fundamentally changed how moderation works in the game. Players can open the social interactions menu, select specific messages along with their context, and submit a report directly to Mojang. These reports are claimed to be reviewed by moderators and look out for hate speech, threats, harassment, and explicit content. The more controversial part, however, was that this could result in a global server ban. If a player is found to have broken the rules, they can receive either a temporary or permanent ban to anything multiplayer, so not just public servers but also private ones, and even servers the player personally owns. Unlike the past, where server owners had full control over moderation, Mojang now has the authority to override those decisions entirely, and obviously what's considered bannable is decided by the moderators, who as we know can never be wrong. Mojang stated that this change came with message signing, where each message is cryptographically verified to prevent tampering or fake reports, to basically ease players that every report will be accurate. Players obviously hated this change, as this completely goes against the whole culture of Minecraft and how insane it is that you could get banned from a big chunk of the game you bought for a message that could be an inside joke or out of context. Some modders even made tools that try to disable or bypass the system altogether, and this has been the biggest 1984 change Microsoft has probably ever made to Minecraft. Between 2020 and 2023, Mojang pushed out a major account migration for every single Minecraft player. Originally, Mojang accounts were simple and independent, requiring only a username and password with little connection to any other platform. But Microsoft didn't acquire Mojang to do nothing with it, and as usual, integration became their goal. And by September 2023, all legacy Mojang accounts were fully shut down. From that point forward, players were required to use Microsoft accounts exclusively. Microsoft justified this move with several key reasons, one being that older Mojang accounts were known for weak protection. The new system introduced features like two-factor authentication, improved fraud detection, and more reliable account recovery. It also allowed Minecraft to be fully integrated into the broader Microsoft ecosystem, including Xbox services, parental controls, and other cross-platform stuff. But you also could just change how Mojang accounts work, so this was taken as just a blatant lie. Players who failed to migrate in time permanently lost access to their accounts, including some dating back to the early 2010s with no recovery options. When Microsoft acquired Mojang, they paid $2.5 billion to Marcus Persson, or Notch, who left the company entirely as part of the deal, ending all direct involvement with Minecraft. However, he still remained a big part of the concept of Minecraft. His name still appeared in splash texts, credits, and overall, when people thought of the owner of Minecraft, they thought of Notch and not Microsoft. However, Notch became increasingly controversial due to his tweets on politics and social issues. He wasn't attached to Minecraft anymore, so he just tweeted whatever he wanted to. But Microsoft, as any big company, wants nothing to do with anything remotely controversial. But removing Notch would cause controversy too. So rather than publicly addressing the situation, they decided to make gradual changes. The big one was in 2019, when splash texts like "made by Notch" were removed. Credits were also adjusted with less emphasis on him as the creator and more on the broader development team. And basically all official marketing like trailers, social media, and events stopped mentioning him entirely. But their distancing from him was made obvious when Notch was not invited to Minecraft's 10-year anniversary celebration, despite, creating the actual game. Some people were upset over Notch's tweets, calling them racist and homophobic, and wanted him gone, and others thought this was basically the same as removing a chunks of Minecraft identity. Notch has since then lost a lot of his controversy. However, Microsoft hasn't added anything Notch related back to the game, and doesn't seem like they will anytime soon. One of the most persistent criticisms of modern Mojang is about the perceived decline in major updates. Unlike earlier ones that fundamentally reshaped gameplay, newer updates are often described by players as disconnected, smaller in scope, and not doing much for the survival progression of the game. Not all, obviously, as something like the Nether update was a very good one that added more complexity to the Nether and actually reshaped the game in a good way. But the most common complaint is that new features no longer meaningfully affect how players progress. Instead of touching the core of the game, many additions are optional and can just be easily ignored. We got archaeology, the sniffer, or new plants like the torch flower, which are cool but don't fall into the gameplay loop at all. They're just not there for most of the game, since they're not connected to anything that players already interact with. Mojang seems to focus more on smaller details like ambient sounds, visual polish, and also improving the back-end code. These are good technical changes, but they led players to question priorities, especially when larger outdated areas like the end dimension or combat systems remain unchanged. The new update is adding sulfur cubes, which I think is a very good direction, but this is something we should be getting every major update, so I hope the trend continues. Mob Mob votes were introduced by Mojang in 2017 as part of their live event broadcasts. Each year, the community is presented with 3 to 4 mob concepts, and through a global vote, millions of participants can choose only one mob to be implemented. The others are typically scrapped and not meant to return in future updates. This community-driven development is what you'd think players would like, but the mob vote is known for being one of the most criticized features in modern Minecraft. In the first vote, the Phantom won and was later widely disliked by players. In 2020, the Glow Squid was chosen over the Iceologer and Moobloom, which many thought was the most boring mob, and there was controversy about major creators who seemed to influence the outcome by asking their audience to just vote for the Glow Squid. By 2023, when the Armadillo won over the Crab and Penguin, over 500,000 players signed a petition calling for the system to be removed entirely, as they thought all of these mobs would be excellent for Minecraft now, and instead they were just wasted in favor of the mob vote. And whenever just one mob is added, they usually end up either disliked or just forgotten, especially when combined with the already forgettable updates. Mojang at least listened and retired the mob vote in late 2024. Introduced in 2017, the marketplace is an in-game store where players can purchase maps, skins, texture packs, and mini-games using Minecoins. Approved creators can sell their work through the platform, turning Minecraft content creation into a revenue stream rather than a purely community thing. This, for now, is only on Bedrock Edition, which Microsoft has been steadily positioning as the default version of Minecraft. Unlike Java Edition, aka the original version, where mods and custom content are typically free and unrestricted, Bedrock runs across multiple platforms, like consoles, mobile devices, and Windows, and is heavily integrated with Xbox services, making it the primary version for most new players. So Microsoft's vision of Minecraft was to add microtransactions for things which are completely free and usually better on Java, as if Bedrock is some mobile game, which I guess it is, but you get my point. Combined with inconsistent marketplace quality and the fact that Microsoft is steering players into Bedrock, arguably the worst version, this creates a split between the normal OG Minecraft and the modern one, which many say looks like a knockoff, which disrespects the original. At Minecraft Live 2021, Mojang revealed early details of what would become the Wild update, and 2 features immediately stood out to players. The first one was a redesigned birch forest biome, shown through concept art featuring taller trees, a bigger environment, and a more immersive, alive atmosphere. The second was the addition of fireflies, seemingly designed to enhance nighttime environments and visually connect with the newly announced frogs. For most viewers, these were seen as upcoming content that they should expect soon. However, when 1.19 officially released, neither feature was included. The birch forest overhaul was absent, and fireflies were removed without any replacement. Mojang later explained that real-world fireflies are toxic to frogs, and rather than depict inaccurate behavior, they chose to remove the feature. For the birch forest, they said that what was shown had only been concept art that they showed, I guess, because they just wanted to. But both were presented in ways that strongly implied they were coming to the game, right? The explanations, particularly for fireflies, were just seen as stupid at best and as lies at worst. I actually remembered this live and being especially excited for the birch forest as, for a reason I can't fully explain, it reminded me of playing Minecraft as a kid. Yet instead we got the mangrove biome, which nobody cares about, and no fireflies. Before 2021, the Minecraft launcher was very lightweight with the single purpose to select a version and launch the game. Startup was nearly instant, resource usage was minimal, and there were few background processes. Basically, it stayed out of the way of the game. Following the transition to Microsoft accounts and broader ecosystem integration, the launcher was redesigned to just be more bloated. The modern version functions more like a platform hub for multiple games like Java Edition, Bedrock Edition, Dungeons, and Legends. It also includes Xbox integration, news feeds, and promotional panels, all built using heavier web-based frameworks. You'll likely notice the slower startup times, the lag, and higher system resource usage compared to the original launcher. The interface itself is another point of contention, as it now resembles a storefront or content browser rather than just a simple launcher, which wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't called the damn Minecraft launcher. Many players, including me, feel like the launcher has become unnecessarily complex, when the majority of players use it for one thing only, which is to launch Minecraft. But share your biggest take about this in the comments, share this around to help the video grow if you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.